are now watching Fiscal TV.
Good afternoon and welcome to Fiscal TV. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jim Caselli. On today's show, Marisela Mercado will bring us a demonstration of the customer item payment approval enhancement and also have any questions that you may have. David Simbel from the FSC will be here with some always important information, and we'll tell you about a special edition of Fiscal TV that will air next Thursday, May 5th. Before we get to the CIP demo, I'd like to let you know that if you have any questions for Marisela, just go ahead and type them in the Q&A area that you see on your screen. And now, here's Marisela.
My name is Marisela Mercado. I'm part of the SEO Fiscal team. Our team is dedicated to Fiscal implementation and operations and maintenance of the SEO process. Today, I'm going to show a quick demonstration of the customer item payment approval enhancement. And in the last Fiscal TV episode, I went over the highlights of that CIP approval enhancement, which will be released in July 2022. Before I begin my demonstration of the new functionality, I would like to reiterate the scope of this enhancement. CIPs are now part of the workflow and will require SEO approvals based on the request type approval configuration rules listed on the new SEO remittance TC47 guidance matrix by request type for CIP and the SEO remittance corrections TC35 and 38 guidance matrix by request type. Departments are now required to select a request type when applying or correcting payments to an AR item, and based on the selected request type, the user will be asked for required information, legal authority and reason for request, certification, submission for approval. CIP submitted for approval will now go through the deposit pre-approval process. My first example is a remittance on a regular deposit, TC47. I have a CTF bank account and not Warrant Bank, a deposit slip, and a location that is not DLC or CTS. Nothing on the regular deposit page has changed. Some departments do the payment predictor and others go directly to create and finalize their worksheet. This will remain the same. After this step, the AR update batch process will run, which currently runs at 10 a.m., 12 noon, and 3 p.m., and we also have an overnight cycle. Once the batch process is complete, your CIP will now be available to view on the new item payment details. The item payment details page is created to allow departments to assign a request type, as well as legal authority and reason for request, related document information, certify and submit for approval. This is similar to the Create Accounting Entries page used to enter DJP payment details. Here, my request type, which is derived based on the account used, is pre-populated for TC47 remittance on a regular deposit, only with transactions that do not have commingled account series. For example, I have a 4 series, which is a revenue, but if I also had a 5 series expenditure account, the system would not know which request type to pre-populate, so it will be left blank for the user to choose. The accounting information on this page is pulled from the AR user line, also called collected revenue, and is the account that will be interfaced to SEO legacy. So again, because this is a TC47 on a regular deposit, the document information is pre-populated. You could also see that the legal authority and reason for request is pre-populated. But please note that this is only pre-populated with certain configured TC47 transactions. So at this point, since everything is filled out, I will be able to certify. And submit for approval. My next demonstration is on a TC47 $0 deposit. Here, my bank account is CTS Bank. My location is not DLC or CTS, and my total control amount is 0. I also have an amount on the journal total amount line indicating one of my sequences is a direct journal payment, and the amount on the posted total amount indicates that one of my sequences is a customer item payment. Now we will review how the CIP will be completed with the enhancement. After you apply the payment and the AR update batch process runs, the CIP will be available to complete on this page. Here I have my request type, legal authority and reason for request is pre-populated on the $0 deposit. However, I have to manually enter the document information. Once I enter this information, it will allow me to certify and submit for approval. My final demonstration is on a remittance correction, also known as a TC3538 correction. Here, my bank account is Warrant Bank. My location is not DLC or CTS, and my total control amount is 0. I also have an amount on the journal total amount line indicating that one of my sequences is a direct journal payment, and the amount on the posted total amount indicates that one of my sequences is a customer item payment. Now we will review how the CIP will be completed with the enhancement. As you can see, my document information is filled out. The reason for this is because I have already filled it out on my first sequence, which is a direct journal payment. At this point, I will add my legacy description and legal authority and reason for request, as it is not pre-populated on a remittance correction. So because I've already added this information on my direct journal payment, I have it right here for my customer item payment. Please note the system will not allow to certify until both sequences are completed. For this example, my first sequence has been completed, so I will be able to certify and submit for approval. The only way a sequence can be submitted individually is through a TC47 regular deposit with a deposit slip. Otherwise, all sequences must be completed prior to certification and submission for approval, as they will need to be reviewed and approved together. I also want to note that we will be needing a legacy description for this. That concludes my demonstration on the customer item payment enhancement. Please be advised that when you complete CIP in production beginning in July, you will need to refer to the final new SEO remittance TC47 guidance matrix by request type for CIP and the SEO remittance corrections TC3538 guidance matrix by request type for specific SEO workflow requirements. Again, prior to July 2022, departments are encouraged to provide feedback to Fiscal on the new business process requirements. Update your department's business process to incorporate the changes and review any upcoming communications and job aids from Fiscal. Thank you.
Thanks so much for that demo, Marisela. And by the way, welcome to Fiscal TV. We're glad to have you with us today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I'd like to remind everybody that before we get to some questions with Marisela, if you have any questions, please send them in right now in the Q&A section there on your screen. Marisela, I have some questions here that we have already, and let's start with the first one.
Okay.
Will the SEO remittances guidance matrix for CIP be the same as the current SEO remittances guidance matrix for DJP?
No, there will be two different matrices. Some request types that are available for DJP may not be available for CIP. Request types that are pre-approved for DJP may require workflow for CIP and vice versa. We will be sharing the updated DJP matrix and the new CIP matrix in future communications and job aids.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's see. Can you share some common remittance errors that stopped remittances from interfacing to legacy?
Before submitting your transaction, we do encourage users to double check the bank account, review chart fields, and provide all the required information based on the SEO matrices. For example, for remittance TC47, bank account should be CTS Bank. For remittance corrections, which are TC35s and TC38s, the bank account should be Warrant Bank, which is 0000. An example for inappropriate GL account used is departments use account 1290000, which is provisions for deferred receivables when remitting to a state fund. Departments can refer to Job A391A for the list of inappropriate GL accounts that should not be used with state fund. One more oversight that we do experience are that users did not follow all the steps to properly submit the remittance. Users will need to follow instructions from SEO to fix remittance errors and to resubmit. Departments can also refer to the SEO remittance, which is the TC47 guidance matrix for DJP or CIP by request type for guidance.
Okay, and we do have a question that just came in. You may have just touched on it, I'm not sure. Which job aid will contain this new process?
So we are currently working on a new job aid, and if I'm not mistaken, it'll be 391D.
Okay, 391C. That information will obviously be in the communication that goes out regarding CIP, correct?
Correct.
Okay, all right, here's another question. When do AR corrections, adjustments, workflow, or interface to SEO SARD?
Corrections to the department chart fields, such as the reporting structure, is not going to workflow or interface to SEO legacy. However, corrections to the appropriation chart field, which include the business unit, appropriation ref, the fund account, program, or enactment year, those will workflow and interface to SEO legacy.
Okay, and we have another question that just came in. Will mass approval function be created for approving CIPs?
Mass approval would not be on there, I believe, but it would be a mass completion, which is a departmental functionality.
Okay. Now, next, how can corrections to departmental chart fields be entered into Fiscal?
Effective July 27, 2020, a new location code, which is DLC, was made available for departmental level corrections that do not have any impact on the appropriation chart fields. These transactions will workflow to SEO Fiscal and will not interface to SEO legacy.
Okay. How do you apply payments to a reverted year AR item?
Account 1290000 is flagged for chart of account exclusion and will not interface to SEO. So please do not apply a payment to a reverted AR item in account 1290000. If a payment is applied incorrectly, the department must submit a ticket to the FSC and request to unpost this payment. The proper remittance procedure for AR items in account 1290000 is to create a credit CR entry type to the reverted AR item in account 1290000 to close out the AR item, and then process a DJP, which is a direct journal payment, to remit the fund to account 5901000. Okay,
so who do you contact about SEO decisions regarding the flowed remittances?
So for these inquiries on SEO decisions regarding the workflow remittances, you can email the Bureau of Cash Management at SEO, which is SEO@seo.ca.gov. The State Controller's Office Bureau of Cash Management's goal is to review and process departments' fiscal accounts receivable AR module payments requiring SEO workflow approval within 3 to 5 business days.
Okay, Marisela, that looks like all the questions we have right now. So I'd like to just say that thanks again for being here with us. but also about the communication. That's going to be coming out sometime in the future here. And as we spoke about earlier, that will have information for viewers. If they have any questions after that communication comes out, there'll be information there where they can send their questions. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you so much for the information and for being with us here today, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Great, thank you so much for having me.
Our old friend David Simbel from the Fiscal Service Center is here to give us some updates and reminders from the FSC. Welcome, David. It's always great to have you with us.
Hi, Jim. Always great to be here. Yes, I have a positive update on a recent configuration change that we implemented for case tickets in regards to the on-hold awaiting user info state. The system is sending out weekly notification reminders to callers that information is needed from them in order to address and resolve the issue on their ticket. Since implementation, ticket totals are down approximately 27 tickets, which is helping shorten the life cycle of departmental tickets.
Well, thanks for that information. That's good to hear. Is there anything else you would like to share with our users today?
You know there is. Because it is an ongoing issue, the FSC will continue to remind users to make sure that their secondary user ID has a valid email attached to it in order to be able to reset their own password and receive account notifications due to inactivity. Departments should work with their IT department so that these secondary user IDs have an actual active email address tied to them. Another topic the FSC will continue to promote is to submit tickets through the ServiceNow SelfService portal. The ServiceNow SelfService ticket submission streamlines your ticket, bypassing the Fiscal Service Center email box entirely, where ticket requests are processed on a first in and first out basis. Users are able to monitor, update, and even close their tickets from the portal.
And that's something that I know I would like to be able to do whenever I have to do it. Can you give us, tell us how, why don't you tell us how people can access the ServiceNow self-service portal in case they don't know about that?
Sure thing. The easiest way to access it is simply going to the Fiscal website at fiscal.ca.gov with an S, not a $sign. And then when on the website, you simply click Access Fiscal on the top right-hand corner. And if you scroll down, you'll see several different options, one of which is PeopleSoft, which is what most people use to get in, or you'll also see ServiceNow near the bottom. If you are already logged into PeopleSoft, however, you can also see it on your home screen. There is a ServiceNow button you can push. Another ongoing FSC reminder is about emailing the FSC. If you choose to email the Fiscal Service Center, please do not email fsc@fiscal.ca.gov. This email will automatically create case tickets, which can be duplicates, when emailing, which causes confusion and ticket processing delays. Please email us at fiscalservicecenter@fiscal.ca.gov.
I think that needs to be repeated one more time. What's that address?
That is Fiscal Service Center @fiscal.ca.gov.
Okay, that's a good one to remember. And I hear the purchasing team sent you a few tips to share with our users on their behalf. How about sharing those?
Yes, these are a few tips related to working in the purchasing buyer's workbench. Firstly, while closing purchase orders, select an accounting date within the reverted year. Secondly, when budget checking the closed purchased orders, select Include Closed option. And then finally, in order to close purchase orders, the budget status needs to be valid.
David, what can I say? Thanks for being here with us again. I know that these helpful hints and tips are always welcomed by our viewers. And I know that we've been doing a lot of the same information over and over again, but there's a reason for that, correct?
That's correct. Always happy to be here.
Yeah, and we just want those our users to get it into their heads, right? What all the great information that you have. We're going to get it. We're going to keep repeating it until we have everybody doing it right.
Sounds good.
Thanks. Okay. Thanks again for being with us. And that's our show for today. But before we go, I'd like to tell you about a special Fiscal TV episode that will be coming your way next Thursday, May 5th at 1 p.m. Rebecca Lay will join us to present the new CTS to CTS fund transfer functionality, along with a question and answer segment. There will be a communication coming out soon regarding the CTS to CTS, but I just wanted to let you know in advance that we will be doing a show regarding that on a week from today. So thanks again to Marisela Mercado and David Simbel for being with us today. And we'd like to remind you that if you have any colleagues out there that are not watching the show, please tell them about it. We look forward to seeing you again on Fiscal TV. And I'd also like to remind you that if you want to see this or any of our Fiscal TV shows, you can see them on our YouTube channel. So from everyone here at Fiscal TV, thanks for being with us today. And we will see you next Thursday for the special CTS to CTS fund transfer functionality episode.